Hi, this is Garvey Campbell, and you are watching Carnival 24. Coming up. The United States refuses to join the World Health Organisations COVAX alliance. Richard Branson's Virgin Atlantic survives tough times with a new rescue plan. Carnival organisations in the Cayman Islands celebrate the Carnival spirit over 2 lively weekends. Kes the Band drops a brand new album. Germany questions the viability of their carnivals in November. And finally, Antigua and Barbuda released their new signature cocktail. Keep watching, we hope you enjoy this week's show. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and if you're watching this on Facebook and want to see our most recent stories today, then make sure you subscribe to the Carnival 24 YouTube page where we release these videos 2 weeks early, and click on the little bell icon or use the link in the description to sign up to our mailing list and make sure you don't miss any of our shows in future. And also in this show we'd like to draw your attention to a project that we think you should all get behind and support called Know Your Caribbean. Know Your Caribbean is an online platform created by Fiona Compton, a St. Lucian-born filmmaker, and it's designed to educate, inspire and empower people by acting as a hub for in-depth information about the Caribbean region. Know Your Caribbean creates accessible educational material, educational and innovative events, film screenings, talks, workshops and more. Because of the diversity within the Caribbean, the platform includes Black African history and Indian, Chinese, Indonesian and European history that's not common knowledge or found in mainstream media. This is a crowd-funded platform supported by people who share the beliefs of the owner and want to gain a first-hand knowledge of the Caribbean, its people, history and culture. So if you want to sharpen your knowledge of the Caribbean, head over to www.knowyourcaribbean.com. And if you like what you see when you're there, then hit the donate button and support what promises to be a fantastic repository of information on the Caribbean. And now, on with the show. The Trump administration has refused to join an international alliance to find a vaccine for the virus. COVAX is a facility that was launched by the World Health Organization to provide countries with equitable access to diagnostics, treatment and vaccines for the virus as soon as possible. At the time of this video, there are 172 countries and multiple candidate vaccines that are currently engaged with the COVAX Global Access Facility. The facility aims to share the risks associated with vaccine development and investment so that vaccines can be deployed to participating countries as soon as they're proven successful. However, in America, the Trump administration has said that the United States will not be joining the COVAX alliance and will not join an international effort to develop and distribute vaccination for the virus, as US officials said it does not want to be restricted by groups like the World Health Organization, instead preferring to engage with their own international partners in order to facilitate the procurement and distribution of their own vaccine. Critics have voiced concerns over the US decision to step away from the alliance, calling it short-sighted in the face of a global pandemic. In a tweet from United States Representative Amy Bera from the state of California, who's also a medical doctor, they said, "Joining COVAX is a simple measure to guarantee US access to a vaccine, no matter who develops it first. This go-it-alone approach leaves America at risk of not getting a vaccine." Currently, the United States has had over 6 million cases of the virus and over 188,000 deaths, with projections from the University of Washington stating that cases of the virus may double by the end of the year. This has led to many countries to close their borders to visitors from the United States in their own attempt to limit the spread of the virus. At the moment, there's been diverse speculation as to how this may affect countries that usually receive the majority of their tourism visitors from the United States. However, this may affect tourism in 2021, as it may mean that the distribution of a vaccine in the United States will not be synchronized with the distribution of a successful vaccine to most of the world's population, which is projected to happen before the end of the year. For further information on the COVAX facility and how it intends to ensure that all countries receive an adequate supply of the vaccine, we recommend visiting the World Health Organization website. The High Court in London has backed a rescue plan to save Virgin Atlantic. Virgin Atlantic's £1.2 billion restructuring plan was recently approved by the High Court in London, allowing the international airline to continue rebuilding its operations after the devastation caused by the current pandemic. The deal, which has already been approved by creditors, must now be confirmed in the United States courts. The airline announced a refinancing package in July to ensure its survival after passenger numbers dropped by 98% in the second quarter, and it includes £600 million of support from the airline's owners, Virgin Group and Delta Airlines, £450 million of deferred payments to creditors, and £170 million of financing. Virgin Atlantic, founded in 1984 by Richard Branson's Virgin Group, has already cut 3,550 jobs and announced that it will be cutting 1,000 more jobs within hours of receiving confirmation of the $1.2 billion rescue deal, as it prepares to contend with the slower than expected recovery in international demand for air travel, as currently they do not expect passengers numbers to return to normal until 2023. Virgin currently flies from London's Heathrow Airport and Manchester to destinations in the US, China, India, Pakistan, South Africa, Nigeria, Israel, and the Caribbean. And in order to bolster faith in their travel, Virgin Atlantic has launched a new global insurance cover with Alliance Assistance, which covers emergency medical and associated expenses while abroad up to £500,000 per customer. While the airline isn't completely out of the woods yet, for now it seems that Virgin Atlantic has survived potentially shutting down in September and will continue to operate in 2021. After cancelling their carnival in May, the Cayman Islands has found a way to bring back the carnival spirit. The cancellation of the Batabanu and Caymas were previously scheduled to take place in May, at the same time that many countries have been closing their borders, socially distancing and implementing lockdowns, and the effects of its cancellation were felt by people within the tourism industry, the international carnival community, and the people who live on the Cayman Islands. The Batabanu is an anticipated annual festival, and it's named after the tracks that are found in the sand by sea turtles, which act as a reliable sign that the endangered species has laid new eggs which will increase their population. With the recent relaxing of regulations, the organisers of Caymas and Batabanu recently held a scaled-down carnival weekend. The first was a Caymas celebration at Pedro St. James, a castle which is the oldest existing building in the Cayman Islands, and the second was for the Batabanu at the cottages in East End on the 4th and 5th of September. The first celebration was a garden party held by Swanky International, who were the lead mass band of Caymas, and they had multiple DJs and the Azuka dance crew providing the entertainment, while organisers of the Batabanu held the launch of the Bacchanalia fundraising series. The weekend included a beach bonfire from 8 PM to midnight and was followed the next day by the Sun, Sand and Soca Beach Barbecue, which started at noon on the 5th of September. Donna Marie Stephen, the chairperson of the Batabanu, said that the Bacchanalia series of events is one of the many ways Batabanu will continue to unite people who love soca music, the spirit of carnival, and just being outdoors together, enjoying the beauty of our islands. And she added that proceeds from these non-profit fundraising events will go towards next year's Batabanu Carnival events and parade. Currently, we've not received any word regarding the form that Caymas and the Batabanu will take next year. However, we'll keep you updated as and when we receive updates from both carnivals. Kes the Band has released their first full-length album in over 5 years. Kes, of Kes the Band, is not only the new face of Spotify's Soca Classics playlist, but the band has also been selected to cover and lead off the YouTube's Caribbean Pulse playlist. This comes as the band releases its first new full-length album in over 5 years. The album is called We Home, and the live project is being released and distributed by the US music company Ineffable Records. A media release said the album will see the band of brothers taking soca music to all the mainstream platforms and media outlets in the United States, the UK, and via various self-curated and hosted playlists, interviews, performances, and promotional appearances. On August the 28th, the band travelled across the Big Apple, performing as part of the Angela Yee Day, which is a virtual music showcase streaming on the Breakfast Club's YouTube channel and on mobile truck screens riding through New York City from noon to 8 PM. On August the 31st, which is Independence Day, the band presented a 1-hour TV special called Kes Live, which aired across 10 Caribbean countries in partnership with CCN TV6. The show was also broadcast on Kes's YouTube channel and across the band's social media pages. The press release added that We Home breathes new life into the band's catalogue of music and shows its prowess as a live band. In a quote from the band's lead vocalist, Kes said, "The live show is key to our entire brand, but the live experience is something we never truly captured before. When we play live, the music translates in such a boundless way, you don't have to know what soca is or where we're from." The release closed by saying We Home was created to fill a void, at a time when the virus has put the communal carnival celebrations and fetes that are key to the genre on pause for the foreseeable future. While the virus has been affecting carnivals around the world, Germany may be one of the latest carnivals to be challenged by the virus. Currently in Cologne and Dusseldorf in Germany, a heated discussion is debating whether Carnival can take place despite the virus. And ahead of the first set of festivities set to launch on November the 11th, several propositions are on the table to make it possible. Following German Health Minister Jens Spahn's statement that he could not imagine a carnival happening during the ongoing pandemic, fans of the festival celebrated in parts of Germany have been in an uproar. While the most renowned carnival festivities take place in the spring with street parades and costumes, the carnival season, known as a session, actually begins every year on November the 11th in the Rhineland region's so-called carnival strongholds, which are Cologne, Dusseldorf and Mainz. This is normally underlined with a huge party, jam-packed pubs and tens of thousands of people celebrating on the streets in Germany. While small communities and carnival clubs have already abandoned the idea of celebrating this session due to the challenge of planning security for such large events during the pandemic, the Rhenish strongholds are still trying to go ahead in some capacity. The region's entertainment industry, already particularly affected by the coronavirus crisis, actually depends on the carnival. Clubs, artists, agencies, event technicians, DJs, breweries, pubs, hotels and taxi drivers all usually get their share of the revenues generated by carnival events held from November the 11th all the way up until Ash Wednesday in the following year. In Cologne alone, the turnover in 2018 was over 600 million euros, according to calculations by the Boston Consulting Group and Cologne's University of Applied Sciences. This means that if carnival celebrations are cancelled this year, many restaurants and artists are bound to go bankrupt, and as a result, a lot of energy is being dedicated towards the Rhenish Carnival, despite the pandemic. Currently, a variety of options are being explored, with many options borrowing heavily from the approach taken by islands within the Caribbean and the UK, taking the form of scaled down or virtual carnivals. At this time, the carnival societies from Cologne, Dusseldorf and Aachen have presented their safety concepts to the North Rhine-Westphalia's health ministry, and they're now being analysed and a decision will be made as to what's possible or not, taking into account the latest developments in daily infections. A new cocktail inspired by Antigua may soon become the official cocktail of the island. Following in the footsteps of the painkiller cocktail of the British Virgin Islands and the Brazilian caipirinha cocktail of Brazil, the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority recently asked island mixologist Altino Spencer to create a specialty cocktail just for Antigua. The island opened its borders in June, and the drink is set to leave visitors with a taste that will remind them of their visit to the destination. Spencer named his creation the Liftoff Cocktail, and it's designed to conjure images of the destination's 365 beaches, its blue waters, secluded harbours, its villas, attractions and dining options. In a recent comment regarding why he loves Antigua, Altino Spencer said, "Here we have sun, sand and sea." Altino wanted to create a cocktail that's the perfect escape for this time, one that evokes the flavours and bliss of Antigua and Barbuda. We are welcoming visitors again, and for them and for those visitors still to come, this cocktail is an ode to them, he said. For his cocktail, he combined citrus flavours, Antigua's very own locally distilled Cavalier rum, a drizzle of blue and fruit garnishes to create a drink reminiscent of the turquoise waters surrounding Antigua and Barbuda. His recipe calls for 1.5 ounces of Antigua Cavalier white rum, half an ounce each of simple syrup, freshly squeezed lime juice and Grand Marnier, and half an ounce of blue curacao for drizzling. Spencer has served as a bartender and server at several resorts in Antigua, and he came in second in the inaugural Taste of Wadadli Mixology competition last December, held by the Antigua and Barbuda Hotels and Tourism Association. He also represented Coco Bay Resort in Antigua and faced off against 8 other mixologists, each from a different resort. The challenge was to present a unique cocktail using guava as the star ingredient. If you want to see the creation of Antigua's new signature cocktail, currently the video that includes Altino Spencer creating the new drink can be found now on YouTube on the Antigua and Barbuda official tourism YouTube page. So, those are our stories for this week, and this week's tune of the week is I Come to Party by Dyson Knight from Nassau in the Bahamas. Dyson Knight was trained in music by his father, once a member of the Royal Bahamas Police Force marching band, and he's also a member of the international Grammy Award-winning band, the Baha Men, and the regional soca band named Visage. Dyson Knight has performed on international stages and talk shows, and he's won the Elevation Awards, the Bahamian Icon Award, and been nominated multiple times for the Classic Award. Presently, Dyson Knight has been nominated for a Hollywood Music in Media Award, which is scheduled to take place in November of 2020. So, we really love this tune, and we know you all too. This is Garvey Campbell, and you have been watching Carnival 24. We'll see you next time.
Hey, this is Dyson Knight, award-winning recording artist from the Bahamas, and you're watching Carnival Network.
Right now I ready to bounce up. When I gon' pick up the road, I am ready to jump up. I done bust up on the heel. From time and start up the countdown. Hey, long now, link up for your good. This year we bringing the parties, bringing the madness. Watching we don't care, talking we don't care, creeping we don't care. Sticking lead them there, thinking we right here, rushing we right here, fetting we right here. Drinking, I come to party. I done nice up on my head, like. I loving myself tonight. All the girls them sexy. They come on here to stand up and be uptight. I love in myself tonight. My section like hey, 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 hey. Down on the ground like hey, 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 hey. Diddly roll like hey, 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 hey. Jump in the waist hey, 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 hey. We crazy like, yeah, that's what we like. This crowd is spinning right now. We feeling plenty vibes. Represent your flag now. We waving high, high, high. The crowd is ridiculous. Where the hell you get the energy? We crazy, that's what we like, yeah. Who watching, we don't care. Who talking, we don't care. Who peeping, we don't care. Just let the lead out there. Who linking, we right here. Who rushing, we right here. We got all this from right here. Who drinking? I come to party. I done nice up on my head, like. I love in myself tonight. All the girls them sexy. They come on here to stand up and be uptight. I love in myself tonight. My section like hey, 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 hey. Down on the ground like hey, 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 hey. Diddly roll like hey, 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 hey. Jump in the waist hey, 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 hey. My section like hey, hey, hey. Down on the ground like hey, hey, hey. Diddly roll like hey, 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 hey. Jump in the waist hey, hey, hey. Who watching we don't care. Who talking we don't care. Who peeping we don't care. Who sticking lead out there. Who linking we right here. Who rushing we right here. Who fetting we right here. Who drinking. Right now I ready to bounce up. I done ready to jump up. The crowd is ridiculous. We crazy, that's what we like, yeah. I come to party. I done nice up on my head, like. I love in myself tonight. All the girls them sexy. They come on here to stand